Hey, happy Monday, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. We got 10 minutes to talk about the local forecast. We're also going to be talking about the national forecast and the tropics. Let's start with what's going on right here at home. Today's going to be hot, really similar to yesterday. Yesterday we maxed out at 97 degrees. We're going to do it again today. There's a 10% chance for an isolated downpour. It's going to be very location specific. The rest of us are not going to see rain. Tomorrow, a little bit hotter, and then Wednesday, a little bit hotter than that. Noticeably so, though, because now we're in the triple digits, and we have not hit the triple digits so far this year. So that's going to be a notable change. Future track radar shows us we're going to have the typical summer pattern, ushering in the sea breeze in the afternoon, and during the peak heating of the day, think right around 4 or 5 o'clock. That's when we can see a little boundary set up. Right now the models are hinting that this is going to be honed in on our northern cities and counties, particularly the North Freeway. So if you do commute back home towards Spring, the Woodlands, if you're trying to get to Bush Airport, you might encounter a little downpour. This is going to be between 5 and 7 o'clock in the evening, and then we quiet things down. And the heat's not going anywhere because we've got this big dome of high pressure right over the Gulf for the next few days, and then staying parked over the eastern portion of the United States throughout the rest of the week, even into the weekend. And so there are already heat advisories in place for a good chunk of the country: Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, most of Florida, except for a little patch there, and the Carolinas too. So those spots are having that warning of try to limit your time outdoors. Although we are not in a heat advisory, we're just barely out of it. So Southeast Texas, our scope extends to Polk, San Jacinto, Liberty, Chambers. Although we are not under that orange heat advisory, we should still take those normal summertime precautions, like making sure you are staying extra hydrated over the next few days, because you don't want, just because we don't have a heat advisory, to make you feel you're invincible. This kind of heat is something we haven't seen so far this year. So 91 degrees right now in Sugar Land already feels like 103. So the feeling's well into the triple digits, regardless of if the actual air temperatures are not. Conroe 91 feels like 102. Galveston 10 degrees hotter between the actual air temperature and the heat index. So it feels like the triple digits. And I think some areas are going to get to the triple digits already today. I think Copperfield makes it up to 100. Woodgate, Acres Homes, Aldine maybe makes it up to 101. Then we have a couple of other areas within the loop, like Montrose, the Heights, that will be in the upper 80s, Edo, upper 90s, I should say. 98 for Gulf Crest, Brookhaven 97. Notice downtown gets up to 98, but IAH gets up to 97, and that's our official recording station. So unless Bush gets up to 100, then we can't officially say we've had a triple digit day just yet. Those history recordings go down to 30 years, so we got to keep it one location, otherwise it gets a little too confusing if we try to count all the triple digit days. But notice 97 today is going to feel like 104 to 105 during the peak heating of the day. It is going to be hot. So far the month of July hasn't been so bad. In fact, yes, there have been 11 above average days that you see there in red, but only by a couple degrees above average. So for this time of year, it's normal, it's 94 to 95. So we've had a couple days right at 95, right at 96. And so it hasn't been exceptionally warm by any stretch. We've had some below average days too, 7 of them to normal. So all in all, let's say 9 days that have been either normal or below normal and 11 above. That's pretty comfortable. That's going to change once we get to those triple digits, which, by the way, we should typically see right around this time. So we are on schedule. July 19th is usually the average first triple digit day in Houston. There have been years where we didn't even get to the triple digits. 2014 was one of those years. 2021 was one of those years. Now the latest we've ever hit the triple digits was about 20 years ago. September 27th was the latest 100-degree day back in 2005, I should say. And so far, we haven't seen the triple digits, but like we talked about, they're coming. So tomorrow's high, 98. By Wednesday, we make it up to 100. and that's going to be 5 degrees above what's average for this time of year. Notice another trend with this future 10-day outlook. Once we get to that peak of 100 degrees, we start to stair-step down. So we'll climb back into the mid and upper 90s. It's not a huge temperature drop. Monday should be a little bit cooler in the low 90s. That'll be something nice to look forward to. But there's a reason behind that. We are going to start to see the return of some moisture. So increased rain chances decreases temperature. So while we don't have moisture out there, we're going to have pretty high heat today, tomorrow through Wednesday. Then by Friday, Saturday, a 40% chance for scattered downpours means we'll start to scale back on the heat. Where is that moisture coming from? I'm glad you asked. Even if you didn't, I'll tell you. Remember that area that we were watching in the Gulf last week? It had a 40% chance of development, then it had a 30% chance, and then it just fizzled out completely. That batch went into Louisiana. It fizzled out before getting here. We didn't see much of anything from it. Well, then it curved through the eastern seaboard. It's exiting into the Atlantic, and it is going to curve back around, passing through Florida, and once again ushering in a batch of moisture into the Gulf. Now, is this going to get organization? The National Hurricane Center is not looking at that as a possibility. What it is going to do, though, is once again refuel our Gulf Coast and kick up some moisture, bringing us more rounds of rain as we head into this coming weekend. So that's where it's coming from. It's just going to drive up our chance of seeing afternoon storms and drive down that afternoon heat. In the tropics, there is an area that the National Hurricane Center is looking at a little bit more closely, and this one has a 20% chance of development. As it moves through the central Atlantic, pushes into the Caribbean, there's a low probability that this develops because it's going to move into a pretty unfavorable environment. There's going to be a little bit of shear in this area, so wind that doesn't allow its vertical progression. It kind of rips it apart a little bit. And there's going to be a cap on the moisture availability. Why? Because there's going to be a ton of Saharan dust. Look at that. A big thick plume of Saharan dust that moves through and continues to be replaced. So it's not like it just passes through here and that area can tap into the moisture behind it. There's going to be a lot of dust throughout the week and even into the coming week. So that's a snapshot at July 28th, and there's still dust in that same area. So that's why the National Hurricane Center is thinking, well, this might not develop all that well. Regardless, we will keep tabs on it, and we'll have an update for you each and every day. Okay, let's run through the 7-day forecast nice and slow. Today is going to be really similar to yesterday. So we hit a high of 97 yesterday. We're going to hit a high of 97 again today. That 10% chance for a shower, the models are being really specific as to where they want to put that today. Mainly north of the I-10 corridor and really along the North Freeway. It's going to be between 5 to 7 o'clock. That's your highest likelihood of seeing an isolated downpour. Otherwise, most of us are going to stay dry. And I mean by way of rain, because the humidity is high today. Humidity is going to make it feel like the triple digits, even though we're not just yet. Actual air temperatures do climb up to the triple digits by Wednesday, and that could come close to a record. Record for this time of year is 101 degrees. What's average? 95. So we'll watch those records closely Wednesday and even into Thursday, even though that's when temperatures start slowly coming back down, because we're going to start to see increasing rain chances. Only a 20% chance for your Thursday. As we move into Friday and the weekend, a little bit more considerable in terms of the rain potential. So 40% chance for storms Friday and Saturday. So if you're already thinking ahead to weekend plans, those 2 days you might want to think of something indoors. Scattered storms will bring down the temperatures, so we'll be in the mid and upper 90s. Still above average for this time of year, but at least we're getting away from the triple digit territory. And a little lingering moisture even into your Sunday. That sits at 30%. And those overnight temperatures are equally hot. We will only be dipping down right around 80 degrees each and every morning. So you start off the day hot, the afternoon is hot, the evening is hot. It's summer in Houston. It's hot. Okay, make sure to catch our next newscast at 4 o'clock with meteorologist Pat Kavlin. He'll have the latest on the tropics and the triple-digit trend. And then our chief meteorologist will walk you through the forecast at 5, 6, and 10. Make sure you're watching David Paul in the evenings.